Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Kerry's Musings. I'm Kerry. Let's see if I can get this switched around here. I can't read the chat. I'm doing this in the car. So we're going to take a drive through Florida. I just left Orlando about 15 minutes ago. Figured I'd come on and talk a little bit about what happened this weekend at the Florida Convoy in Fruitland Park, Florida. Boy, we had a good time. Really good time. And met a lot of people. We started out there, probably a dozen people there. We started out small, grow. If everybody brings 2 or 3 the next time, it grows. It was a blast. I enjoyed meeting White Cops America. Had good chats, good talks, good time. Arriba Dive Girl, Shirley. They did a very good job organizing it. We talked about it, quite a few subjects. If you watched the video, you know.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Protest by sand crane, big birding. It's on the endangered list here in Florida, but they're everywhere, and they come in pairs, male and female usually, and sometimes they're babies. The one that was out there was a smaller one, so it was an adult, but it wasn't a full-grown adult yet. And as it flew off, when White Cop walked over to it to try to video it, he walked too quick with his boots and it flew away. But the mate was on the other side of the pond. It flew off into the sunset together, which was pretty cool. I didn't get it on video, but I think. I can't remember which one it was. I watched all 3 of them. But it was good to get together and chit-chat about what's going on in movements, what's going on in groups and freedom, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and then remembering the J6 captives, which really burns me up. One of my topics. And we talked to Buffalo Man 11 on the phone, and he's doing a good job trying to fight these drag queen shows. That's one of my top issues, one of my very top issues. I don't care. Do it in your own time, do it in your own place, and leave my kids out of it. And we discussed how you wouldn't take your children to a strip show. Why would you take them to a drag show?
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
It's really insane. Nobody seems to care. It's like morality is gone. But needless to say, with all the topics and everything, we talked about live streaming. We talked about going out and talking to people and having flag waving shows over overpasses. You name it. We did quite a lot of talk and suggestions and a lot of good plans coming up. So keep watching my page or Aruba Dive Girl, White Cop America, and other pages. We'll pass them on to other streamers to let everybody know what's going on, because everybody needs to know. Here I am on the Florida Turnpike, passing all these trucks. This is, used to be all orange groves through here. When I got out of high school, I came to Florida, went to college, and this was all orange groves and swamp. And I've passed most of what's existing now, which is none. It's fairly flat here. Florida comes in different shapes, different styles, the next, beach on one side, beach on the other. Come up a little bit, you get hills. You get up into North Florida, you have some hills, some flat, a lot of Spanish moss. There's quite a bit here, but not as much as in North Florida. But Florida has all different kinds of sights. And yes, it does get cold here. It does get cold. I think the coldest I've seen it was like 15 degrees. Everybody turned on their water to protect their plants and their citrus. Had icicles everywhere, all over everything. It was pretty, but boy, oh boy. Frost damage is not good to the strawberries and oranges that they grow here. Because all those oranges that are frozen, they have to go to pulp. They can't go as a food. They have to go as pulp for orange juice and what have you. And sometimes it's not good enough even for that. Let's get back to the topic of freedom. All of us know we're out here fighting for freedom. And if you're on here, go ahead and chat among yourselves. I can't see it, but I will look at it later. If you are on here, chat away. Talk about it amongst yourselves. Comment on what I'm saying. And I'll try to answer it on a future broadcast. But one thing we got to do is stick together. Stick together. I don't care whether you belong to an organization, a group, whatever. Whenever something comes up, join them. Join in with them. Get together. Make your voices heard. We have to change things that are going on, like I'm saying, with all the drag queens, the abortion, the mandates. There's so many that go on and on and on and on and on. They go for freedom, just like our forefathers did. I can imagine them back there. It's probably the same thing. Some people, oh, it ain't that bad. England ain't that bad. They're not taxing us too much. We can pay it. Oh, we need their help. We need their help. I can see it. I can see it. But England wanted the war. They wanted to put them down, and it went to war. But we want to do a bloodless revolution and change things, and change it from the bottom up. There's many things. Our judges, when we go to vote for them, we don't know who they are. We don't know if they're bipartisan. We don't know who they are, what they stand for. Unless we have people out there vetting them and finding out their background, what they're doing, and putting that on them.
In 6.1 miles, take exit 304, US 301, Wildwood.
We may never know. If you don't research it yourself, you don't know at all. So what I did before the last election, I went online and I saw who nominated the judges. And that's the best way right now, who nominated them, when they were nominated, what they've done, and went on that. And of course here in Florida, Charlie Christensen ran for governor. He pointed a couple of them. I said, nope. And our present Governor DeSantis, nominated quite a few, so it was fairly easy this time. But it's not easy everywhere. Not easy everywhere. We've had the majority of Republican governors here in Florida, and even when we had Democrats, they were good. They were John F. Kennedy Democrats. I'm not for either. I'm not going to say be for either party. I say vote common sense. But the way it stands now, the parties hang together. And what the lead says, that's what they go by. They don't speak out for themselves. They don't stand up for themselves. They go by the majority in the group, which is wrong. So we need to find people that have their own voice, their own mind, and do what they do for the people and not for themselves. It's outrageous what's going on in the government today, making all these laws, but they're not even supposed to be anything but watchkeepers of the country. The states are supposed to be in control. If a state passes a law and you don't like it, you can move to another state. But if the whole country has the same law, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck with it. We just had to change it back to where the founders put it, and back to the states. And they all represent us because we are a republic. Many times, every time I say, we are not a democracy. Nowhere in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, is there anything about democracy. We're not a democracy. We are a republic. A republic is representative. You vote for somebody to represent you in the matters. They're not representing us. They're going in and doing their own thing. We have to get together in these groups, speak our mind, show the other people, hey, we can do it without causing a big demonstration, without causing any disturbances. And if you have a big meeting, if you have a big group, you cannot vet everyone that comes into it. You cannot check on everybody that comes into a meeting in a group. And if somebody happens to
In 1 mile, use the right lane to take exit 304, US 301, Wildwood. Then keep right.
we can't vet them and know what's going on because it's impossible. What we need to do, if we catch it, is do what has been done before, quietly and peacefully, ask them to leave, because everybody has their own rights. But you take care of the problem. You don't put it out for everybody. You don't have to put it out for everybody. It's nobody's business. But
Exit right to exit 304, US 301, Wildwood. Then keep right to US 301 North.
you let the organization take care of it. You don't need to protest it all over the streets. And mind your own neighborhood.
Keep right to US 301 North.
Check your next door neighbor. But stay out of the organization's business. And if you are one of these people that have something on your background that could hurt a party, if you want to help at home, talk to your friends and neighbors. It's just as good as going to a rally.
Continue straight for 15 minutes to County Road 42.
We had a dozen people there, and I've already seen it. Remarks here, there, and everywhere. Little remarks. That's not right. It's not. It just brings up a flag, and everybody's oh, look at this, and oh, look at this. All they're trying to do is start a stir and bring up everybody against each other. But folks, we got to band together and not be against each other. Help each other out. The live streamers, help each other out. Share the software you're using to broadcast with. Talk about your problems. Get together, find some way to communicate with each other. And talking to Wyckoff Saturday, I learned quite a bit. I learned quite a few things that I hadn't really. All these guys are trying to do their thing and help, and other people were jumping in and trying to stir them up with other live streamers. and make a big problem. So we have to help out each other and let everybody know what's going on and get the word out. Get out there and fight for our freedom. Anybody under
Approaching the railroad crossing.
they don't know what it was like in the patriotic days. When they took God out of school and Jesus out of schools, our morality, our children started to slide, backward slide. And the schools are using a conveyor belt system, just passing them through over and over and over, just passing them through, getting them through. Not requiring a lot of steps to graduate. I think it was we had to have 40 credits when I graduated, 30 to 40 credits of major stuff, English, math, history, and our electives. Now you only have to have 3 days a week, 2 hours a day, if they're online, which is fine. They can do it. They can do it, but
Approaching the railroad crossing.
it's ridiculous how our schools are operated. And we also talked about the old PTA, which was a good organization. It wasn't a union. It was just a large educational group that helped the schools. And it was fantastic. I remember my mom, good Christian lady, she was I think she was a chairman of it in my school, if I remember right. Been too long. I've slept since then. Anyway, when they changed it to PTO, Parent Teachers Organization, it changed. And then they got the National Education Association in there and with the unions, and kaboom! School systems went down. Teaching went down. Learning went down. No more 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's all gone. We went to school, we studied. And we didn't have a class, we had study hall. So now they have party time, no study hall. Folks, we got to change it. And you know, there's issues like homeschooling. Homeschooling is fantastic, but you have to be there the whole time that the child's in the homeschool. You have to watch them, because if you walk away or turn your back, you're gonna be like the teacher going out of the room when we was in school. Everything goes. So we have to get out there and watch them if we homeschool them. But I homeschooled my 2 granddaughters, and it was tough. And they did that what I just said. I'd turn around, I'd have to do something, I'd turn around. Oh, we're hungry. We're gonna take a break. Oh, the class is in break. Oh, they're doing. I ready. Yeah, they're playing games and stuff. Oh, okay. See the train stockyard over there. This is Wildwood, Florida. At Wildwood, we have Yeehaw Junction. Right in the middle of the stage, Yeehaw Junction. Used to be the center point in Florida where all the stagecoaches and everything come through back in the old days. Pretty soon I'll be outskirts of the famous village. We want to do something in the village, a drive-through or what have you, which is a good idea, because the villages, the people there, they turn out for just about everything. I sang opera. We did shows up there all the time, and they would build the Catholic cathedral there, and they'd build their hall where they do their shows. They would fill it up to capacity. The people there will show up, and there is a lot of conservatives. You can see during the presidential election, all the rallies that was there. for all the candidates during the primaries and the general election when Trump was elected. So they will turn out. They are there. They are there, and they will help. But we have to get out and let them know what we want to do and when we want to do it. I hope this jalopy of mine is not too noisy. It's an older vehicle. I have an Xterra, kind of like a Jeep, big old brute. It's an old one, but it gets me there. And I had a Jeep, famous, and here I am. I do have a crack. I went great, but it's rattly, it's old, it's noisy. Here, where was I? Well, folks, get something out. You can email me at Kerry's Musings, the name of the page here, Kerry's Musings at pm.me. Kerry Mick at pm.me or proton.me. Either one. PM's easy. Kerry Mick at pm.me. You can let me know. That's my email for this cause, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. A lot of times I get busy researching and looking and watching other streams. I watch other streams all the time. I'll have 2 or 3 streams up there, switch back and forth. Yeah. But here we're going to start coming into a few rolling hills. Not nothing major here, but to the west of me a little bit, about 15 miles, 20 miles, there are some pretty good curves and hills around from Brooksville to Inverness. But we have a lot of Spanish moss, a lot of horse farms up to here, a lot of championship horses, derby horses, race horses, a lot of horses in the Ocala, Bellevue area, and all the way up to Gainesville, upper center of the state, more or less. There's these little towns with their trees on both sides with moss. And we have an Amish place up here. I don't know whether you can see to my left too much, but there's a lot of ranches through here. This crossroad here is, you can see the sign there says the Villages. Straight down that road and 2 blocks south was where we had the rally Saturday. Very nice little park, as you saw. Beautiful. But folks, we need to come together, get our minds in one shape, and forget all the riffraff out there. And go online with a streamer, talk about the subjects. You can socialize, but talk about the subject and intermix with each other and talk about the cause and what's going on, and bring forth ideas to let us know what you want, how you feel, and not criticize, but ask and you receive, a lot of times people go in there and they just spout off stuff and they don't explain it, and everybody gets mad, you know, because they're asking a question, and sometimes it's trolling, sometimes it's not. But we have to let people talk, everybody, because we are one nation, not divided nation. We are the United States of America, and we have to be united. Otherwise, we fall. It has nothing to do with party. Party is irrelevant. It just makes it easier to bring one side or the other. In other words, devil's advocate either way. Exchange ideas and different ideas. I watched Joe Manchin the other morning, talking about how him and Robert Byrd was a Democrat, which so is Manchin, but he said they went to lunch together, dinner together, discussed the issues, and talked back and forth, and they all come to an agreement with each other. To take one stand. You know, it was very excellent what he said. I wish I could find it and put it on, but I couldn't find it after I read it, after I watched it. But if you see it, he's up on one of the laws they were trying to pass yesterday. Said he would not vote for it because it splits the parties up. It would take away the filibuster, and we need the filibuster. So even though Robert Byrd was controversial, excuse me, he was still fair and honest, and gave a common sense opinion, but one side of opinion for a party or a group. He said we need to get back to that, and that's what he's trying to go by. He was a junior senator at the time, and I guess Byrd took him under his wing and taught him all this stuff. And he seems, even though he does have some different views from a conservative, he still uses his common sense. And that's what they all need to get back to. Use your common sense. You can have your ideas, but use some sense about it. Don't think it's just the only right answer, because there's several things in life where there's not one particular answer. There's some things that you have to give and bend to, but then there's others that you don't. And one of them is God's law. You don't bend God's law at all. That's about the only one you should not bend.
In 1 mile, turn right on County Road 42.
Without going illegal. Don't go illegal on anything. We got to get back to that. And I don't remember what it was about, but what was it? The old, I can't remember the name of the movie. I can't remember the name. He goes to Washington. Was it Mr. Smith? Oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Black and white movie.
Approaching the railroad crossing.
Get back and watch it. But we really have to get busy, because our time is short. What's happened in 2 years coming up?
Turn right on County Road 42.
It's terrible, the things that are going on now. Gas prices are up, food's going up, and they're still not raising it really quick after the...
In 1.7 miles, turn right on Southeast 147th Street.
It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Let's let it quiet down a little bit. Let's keep the people. So they won't rise up against the beautiful spot through here. It's homes. And a horse ran by. I can't see it. any ideas or suggestions, let us know. Send me an email or talk to another streamer. You can talk to Aruba Dive Girl, sorry. And of course, White Cloth America. And we can communicate with each other, and as others join, we can communicate with everybody. Beautiful dead stuff. In it. Snakes in them. And I put a picture on one of my pages of kids using lizards
On Southeast 100th Avenue.
onto their ears by the lizard's mouth. Since the gay community and the conch fritters down there, if you've never had conch fritters, you've never had nothing. Oh, they are fantastic. Fantastic. When you get to the critters, spot them. Oh, there's nothing like it. It's something you can walk some of the keys to there. You go the Atlantic Ocean on one side to the Gulf on the other. The last time I was down there, my oldest daughter was driving my Mustang, and I had a Fiero, which was back in early 90s. Wow, that's been a long time. She locked my keys in the car. And here we are in the middle of the keys, right in the middle. Had to call a locksmith, come up from Key West. It took about an hour and a half. We were sitting on this little connector between the Gulf and the Atlantic. It's about about the size of a football field. We sat there and watched all the fish swim through. Whoop. Watch it, Kerry. Watch it. Watching all the sea turtles and the snook and the barracuda. Oh, the barracuda or something else. Watching them swim through there. Florida has so many things to see. Not just Disney World. And back when I first come here, we had the tourist traps selling monkeys and baby alligators, and stuffed alligators, and all kinds of stuff that you don't see now. But we still have the gators. They're coming back. They're coming back. I'm surprised we didn't see one at that pond Saturday, along with sand crane. But to come to Florida, don't just think about all the stuff that's touristy. We have springs, natural springs, oh man, that to die for. Well, folks, I'm gonna have to get off here. I'm about to my destination. Just got a couple more minutes. But it's been a pleasure. Come back and see me. Just watch for my live. YouTube is the worst for notification. I'll put a notification. I'll put notification up to watch other people, and I'll get it 10 minutes after, 10, 20, 30 minutes after they started. And I guess y'all probably been through the same thing. It's terrible. So right now I can't make a actual schedule, but I'm going to try as much as I can to get on at least every other day. At least every other day. So, until next time, God bless America, and God bless our troops, God bless you. Freedom for all. I love you guys. Bye. Wait a minute, I'll just hang on a little bit more. I want you to see this area here. I hope you didn't cut off.
In half a mile, turn left.
I live out here in the most of the woods. It's a lot of housing, but it's not really tight. It's about like this here. Well, not even like this here. It's a little bit loose, a little bit less. Little bit less. With my granddaughters.
Turn left on Southeast 100th Avenue.
A lot of big name streets and big number streets. Second one.
In 1.8 miles, turn right on 130th Street.
Uh-oh, school bus. Up here before I go to this next turn, if you look to your right, you might see some donkeys down there. Oh, getting away. Just right down in the hole here. I think there's one right there. No, that's hay. Oop. Gotta watch these curves though. Streams. A couple miles called Lake, just to the left of me.